business. So I want to kind of run this differently than what has been done before, because SME finance usually is sometimes peculiar to the business, right? The kind of business you do, your payment structure, that's how you receive your funds, largely would determine the type of funding or how much funding that you would get access to. So I'll start this way. I hope I can use the name I'm saying, Azuka Ego Iwekuba. Please correct. I hope that's your name, and I hope I got it correctly. If you're on the call, please confirm. Azuka Ego Iwekuba.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are right, Ma. Azuke Goimekuba, that's my name. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So I want to ask you, I want to throw a question at you actually. So I want to ask you to let us know about, I believe you're an entrepreneur, or if you're not, you can, feel free to correct me. But I want you to tell me about your business, and the role finance is playing in your business and the pain points you're currently having. So the way we want to run it is, I don't want to just say things at you. I want, as much as possible, give tailored financial advice. Since we don't have a very large crowd, it will be easy for us to be able to just cover everybody that is here. Then we can now give general business or finance tips. So if you don't mind, I would like to know what business you do and what your financial circle is like currently. You have the floor, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Like I rightly said, my name is Azuke Go. I'm representing Kuzo Global Services. We are into logistics, and we do trading and other general contracts. So basically, we receive money via cash. That means we do B2B2C. That means business to business and to customer. So we get money via cash and via transfer. And presently, we want to improve on our financial capability and auditing and making sure we get our finances right. It is not the way I see that we've been lacking over the years. So, thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Just to ask one more question. So, um, how much would you say you would have today that you would not have financial worries? Or do I assume that you don't have any financial worries currently?
Financial worries is not peculiar to. You can even see the likes of Dangote and
Still looking for money,
coming out to
raise funds.
so I can't really put the figure to that, but what really drives me is service delivery and living a good life that please God and everything. So,
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Mr. Iwekuba. All right. I'll move to Mr. Ogunowo Shegun. I don't know if you were here when I asked the question. I asked the question. I want to know the kind of business that you do and what financial pain points, if you can, currently. And if you know your business cycle in terms of funding, if you could share that with us too.
Okay, my name is Ogunowo Shegun. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
the a bit low, but yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, my name is I'm into furniture and interior. Actually, hello.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
So, what is the question? What is the question? Please, can you repeat the question?
So we want to know what business you're into, and your financial pain points, if any, currently.
My financial
pain points, yes. What are the issues you have? Are you able to access funds when you need? How do your customers pay you when you have to? So I hear you're into furniture. So do they pay you complete before you deliver, or you always have to get funds to add to what you have? Are there equipment that you want to get to improve your craft that you're not able to get funding to? So we want to know a general idea of what your financial pain points are currently.
Okay, my name is Inosh. The name of my company is School One Ventures. And actually, I have a little difficulty about my customers. Some customers, after you delivered, they are promised to pay, and at the end of the day, you have to wait and pressurize them. There was a customer that have completed and delivered his work for almost 5, 6 months. Not because I'm not. And the funny part about this accountant in that company is the one that caused such a kind of delay.
Okay.
They said that the company have released the money to the accountant, and the accountant has swallowed
Oh
the
wow.
money. So it is even better to negotiate with the management of the manager of the company than the accountant. So
Yes.
therefore, it is because it is the accountant that will release the money. But I
Yes.
don't go far to mingle with the manager. No. So at the end of the day, I now got to know that the money has been paid since, and it is the accountant
Sat on the money.
that is holding the money. When I told the accountant so we have such a difficulties like that, but actually my work for now, that's the reason I put a target in my quotation list. I will ask you to pay 80% of the money on commencement of business.
Awesome. Fantastic. Fantastic.
Yes, yes, that's what I put forward. You have to pay me 80% of the money on commencement. 80%, there is no commencement of anything.
Yeah.
That was a contract that I do. It's a job production job. So before I started the subframe of the door, I had to collect some amount of money, which I know it will be enough for me. So to cut my story short, we are trying to solve some issues on the with the customer that used to, after you deliver they will not pay. That is bad debt
Yes.
at times recovery, at times it will not be recovered. And it's about my work.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Aguno. Thank you. I hope you can hear me clear. I want to be sure it's not my network or it's Mr. Aguno's network. Please, Creative Academy, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think it is network.
Oh, okay.
I
All
think
right.
it's from his own end, though. I can hear you clearly, ma.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. All right. So in the next 20 minutes, I pray God helps me. Let me try and see if I can unpack SME finance. And I really love the mix we have. Unfortunately, I wish we had a fuller house to hear about other businesses. I think what we have here is that we have a product-based business, someone that is into furniture, and we have a services-based business, someone that is into logistics. Now, SME finance in itself is very, very broad. I think issue to say that it's almost like harvesting crude oil, right? SMS finance, because it has so many babies under it that you can get out of it, and the more you fine tune it, the more value that you get out of it. But the basis of finance, basically anywhere, is you must have a budget. Your budget does not always only include expenses. Your budget must always include income, revenue, to put it in broad. So all the money that you expect to get in the course of your business. So the first thing you are doing the business, the first thing you want to do, maybe probably on a monthly basis, if you are able to, is to put together a budget. So we run a microfinance bank and we have a budget that we built at the beginning of the year. Now, what that budget does is that it guides our activities throughout the year. We know how much we make as profit at the end of the month after taking out all our expenses. So that helps us to drive our revenue. So the two of them work interchangeably, right? So it means that you have expenses, you have what you must cover. For example, you must cover payroll. You must cover all the other expenses. So for someone that's in logistics business, you will buy fuel. And the cost of price of fuel now, today you get it 1,000 at one station, tomorrow you see for 850, another place you get for 1,500. So the price is not stable, right? So you want to make a budget for that, okay, in a month, also trips, this is how much I'm budgeting for fueling my vehicle. Maintenance of the vehicle is also key. Salaries of the drivers or of yourself, as maybe as my pertain, is also there. For someone that is into product business, when you want to buy the materials that you're going to use to produce, is there. The salaries of the person or the wages of the people that are working with you. You want to buy nail, gum, all those are expenses, right? So you want to build an expense sheet to say, okay, this is how much it's going to cost me in this month to run this business. And when you have done that, it now directly impacts the revenue. So you want to see, okay, how many deliveries must I do in the month of October for me to be able to meet all these expenses? Or how much in the month of October for me to be able to meet all these expenses? If you're not able to do that, then you'll just be working and be feeding, permitted to use the word, hand to mouth. So it's very important. That's what they call structural finance. The first thing that you need to do is sit down and put pen to paper. It's so funny that when you get to the banks to ask for fund, or if you even want to meet an investor for fund, those are the first set of documents that they're asking you for, beyond even the bank statements. What I just explained now is what is called, is just a layman way of designing a cash flow analysis, right? So you are saying, okay, if I do 100 deliveries this month and I charge an average of, let's say, 3,000 naira, I'm going to make so X amount of money. Now, if I'm going to deliver 100 goods this month, this is how much it's going to cost me. I'm going to have to, and then you have to also make room for incidentals. So sometimes the VIO guys might hold your bike or something, and you have to sort it out. In the month where your papers have expired, your motor vehicle papers have expired, you have to make provision for it. For the person that is doing the furniture, you might have to pay rent for the location where you are using to store your goods. So those are all the things that you need to build in on a monthly basis into your budget sheet. Let's use the word budget sheet in layman terms, because I believe we're just SME entrepreneurs. So let's use the basic words. So that's what you want to build into your budget sheet. That now impacts on your revenue. Now, if we move from that, when you have done that, it's a clearer picture for you to run, for you to decide how much money you need to, if at all, get from investments. Now, investment can come in two different ways. Investment can come as equity or as debt, and I will explain. So equity means someone buying into your business, right? So you could have one or two people that just believe that, okay, if is doing is so nice. I'm seeing that in the next future, Azuka's business can grow into GIG, Azuka's business can grow into which other top this thing do we have? Fairs, logistics, So there's potential here. I like the way his business is structured. So you know what? I trust Azuka. Let me at this early stage invest money. Now, what usually happens when they bring equity investment is that they're not taking the money back. It means that when there's profit, they share profit with you. And if there's loss, they will also share loss with you. That's equity investment. Now, the next funding type is debt. And debt means and debt, some people think debt is only from banks. No. You can also get debt from family and friends. So debt is when you are promised an a sum or an amount as a return on that investment. So, for example, Mr. Shegun can have a furniture that he wants to produce. Maybe say someone has given him a contract to produce 100 beds for a hotel, right? And then he now takes that quotation and goes around to family and friends. Say, "What? Okay, I have this bid to produce these 100 beds. They've only given me 50% upfront. I need to raise another additional 20%. I need to be able to source the materials at a discount and produce." So I now tell family and friends, okay, do you have 20,000? Give me. When they pay me, I will pay you back 22,000. That spread of 2,000 naira already makes that money debt because you are paying a return on that. Sometimes the family can even say, you know what, don't pay me any return. But they're taking the money back. That makes it a debt. For equity, another thing I wanted to say is the person can only leave the business if somebody else comes to buy them out, right? For equity. So the person cannot just wake up and say, that money I gave you, that 500,000 I gave you that time, return it to. I'm not doing it. To hold on. I need to get somebody else that can buy into this business, and then when the money is available, I give you back. But when there is debt and an agreed period for refund of the money or or a return on the investment, then that means you are gone for debt. And it can, like I said before, it can be taken from various sources. You can go from banks, it can be from friends, it can be from cooperatives. Various sources can form your debt. Now, the last one that is not often talked about is grants. And I particularly enjoy what Createch has packaged because if I know correctly, an opportunity for you to win some grant sum at the end of the program, right? So grant is outright, you know what, I trust in what you're doing. I believe in the product you are doing. I believe in the work you are doing. It's contributing to the economy. So I'm giving you this money outright. So you're not returning the money. You're not paying any ROI on the money. So it's just outright dash. And what I always advise people is anytime you have an opportunity to get a grant, always ensure that you divert the money correctly. And what do you mean by divert the money correctly? Since it's free money, usually it's best to always use it to acquire an asset because assets are not, they don't immediately generate funds. So it's always better that when you get those kind of grants, you immediately need to go and buy an asset so that every time you look at the machine, you can know that, I participated in that event, I got some money, and this is what I used to sort out. If you use the best salaries, down the line, those staffs can leave you. Down the line, you might leave that business. A lot of things could happen. But if it's an asset you use it to buy a machine, something that improves the quality of your business, you could always look at it and say, you know what, I got money from so place, and this is what the fund was used for, right? So there are various avenues where we can use to raise grants, a lot. So people are not really focused on because of what. Grant also means that your books must be right. Your books must be correct, must be in place for people to be able to look at it and say, you know what, this person is doing good work. You also have, they are also tailored towards specific industries. I don't think anybody, sorry, apologies, knows about the 16 SDGs, social development goals, right? Is crafted by the who is who in the world, and they crafted 16 SDG goals. So what that does is that there are 16 targets of things that they want to achieve in the world. Number one is eradicate poverty, women empowerment, equality, clean water, climate control. It's a lot. If you have time, you can take your time and go and look at it, right? And what the 16 SDG goals does is that if you are able to with whatever business you are doing, have a niche in any of these SDGs, you are able to apply for international grants, both international and local grants that can help to improve your business. However, it may be run currently. So I'll quickly come back to debt and equity. I think I've trashed grants a lot. So for debt, right? So let's assume, for example, that you want to approach a bank, a structured financial institution, and for you to raise fund. Now, some of the questions I asked when we started that I'm not sure I got a really satisfactory answer to is how much money is enough money now? We need to realize that for every business, there are stages. So I like what Azuka said, that even Dangote is still looking for money. I agree, but he's not looking for 1 million. I also believe that he won't even be looking for $1 million at this point, right? But an Azuka business currently will probably appreciate a $5 million injection. Am I correct?
Yes, ma.
So,
Hello, can you hear me?
the level of, yeah, I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me too?
Okay. Yes, I can. I say yes, the 5 million will be good.
Exactly. So
And you'll be able to
the
acquire
level
two bikes.
you see. So the level of your business, right, determines really how much you should go after. And I always tell people, don't just to put as a side note, don't go after money, don't go after so much money, right, in your business. So I'll give a funny story I came across during this week. Who knows the story of the guy that was advertising the water in the bus, and for some reason I don't want to mention brand names because and then the people, because he advertised so well and the social media stormed it and they're like, wow, these people should sponsor this guy, and they got a shop for him and gave him goods worth 8 million naira, right, to distribute. This is someone that was hawking on the road. So you imagine the steep trajectory of growth. And this is barely a year or 2 years after, and the shop is no more, ruined. and the guy goes and says it's a spiritual problem. It's not a spiritual problem per se, or maybe but we can say it's a spiritual problem. The spiritual problem of too much growth too fast. There's something called too much growth too fast. Slow and steady wins the race. There's something, because at every stage of your business is growing, there will be new problems that will be introduced, right? And you have to learn to stabilize at that new problem level before you inch up to the next level of growth. So I like what Azuka said, that okay, if you get 5 million naira today, he will buy 2 bikes. So, but I want to ask you also, if you get 50 million naira today, does it mean the same number of bikes? If I would advise, I would say, no, don't do that. You know why? Because you would not compare the level of headache you're having now in 4 or 5 bikes with managing 15, 20 bikes. So you need to take it in stages. Ensure that as you're growing, you are able to learn to stabilize the business, learn the problems, put structures in place. Very key. Put structures in place, because if you say you want to manage everything, it's a madhouse. You would run workers. And I'll come back again to give an example. At the MAB level, we have 15 staff, right? And when we started, I wanted to be involved in everything. I wanted to know what marketing was doing. I wanted to know what operations was doing. I wanted to know what everybody was doing. And I found that the core function I was supposed to do, I wasn't able to do it. As a matter of fact, I was kind of stifling the growth of the organization. So at a point, I had to take a step back and really invest in structures, in processes, in teaching people what I wanted, right? So as you're growing a business, you want to approach finance, you want to get funds. It's also very key that you put structures in place. What structure helps you to do is that you have people that are manning each level. And then when you're going after money, you are sure that, okay, as we are pumping this money into the business, the funds are going to come back for us to be able to expand or return to the investor as may be necessary, right? So I've talked about structure in SME financing. I've talked about budgeting, right? The next one is running a bank account. Now, I want to break table. Mr. Okunowo, hope you have hammer there and nail that you used to put this table back after I've broken it. So I'm about to break it. A lot of us like to run our businesses. Nothing wrong with that if you want to remain at a mom and pop level. That's what we call those kind of accounts. It's like just going to one area and seeing Chukudi running a provision store. Now, nothing wrong with that if you want to run a business. However, just run away from, which is taxes, usually can be managed if you open a business registration kind of account. So that means it's not a limited company, but you still have a CAC registration. Now, I'll quickly give a tip. How you can limit or minimize your tax returns is filing your returns by yourself and on time before the government comes after you, right? So before they come, do your statement and render a return to the government that this is what I made or did not make this month, and then they won't come after you. Now, the benefit of running a corporate account, innumerable, right? You cannot count them. One, it shows, it kind of, it gives legality to your business. It helps people to think, oh, okay, this person is serious. This person is really ready for business. This person is ready for expansion. He has already secured a name. Number two, it gives your business a brand identity. Very key. So there are some names I will mention today that if I say noodles now, the name that immediately comes to your head is Indomie. Will you believe that the name of that company is not Indomie Noodles? The name of that company is Dufil Foods, right? The name of the company that distributes that company, that food, is Dufil Foods. It's not Indomie. But imagine if when they started, they were able to secure that name. Anyway, for now, I think they've trademarked the name and nobody else can use it. You understand? So there are things like that. You say you want to buy Coca-Cola. Meanwhile, maybe it's Pepsi you want to buy. The name is not Coca-Cola. They are called sodas, right? You say, I want to buy soda. They ask you, okay, which brand? They say, okay, I want Coca-Cola or Pepsi or American Cola. So that's what registering your business and even trademark possible. It gives your brand an identity. So everybody, so for example, now we're mentioning to fairs. For furniture, we'll probably be talking about life mates, right? So those are structured businesses in the company. So you want to register your business, it gives a form of legality. It helps you in your application to the bank because it just tells them that in the bank that, you know what, this person is really serious and ready for business. So those are the two major reasons why it's important to register your business, because of course it also affords you opportunities to get access to more funding. So if I give an example, in our finance bank as an individual, the maximum amount you can access is 500,000 naira. But if you're a registered business, you can access as high as 2.5 million naira. You can see the gap, very wide rather. So registering your business is key, it's important. It shows that you're ready. And of course, when you're sending invoices to companies, that this is our invoice, this is how we bill, and there's still a corporate name, the corporate account, the respect just goes up a notch. That these people, they are really ready for business. So they're really standard. And at that point, you can make demands. So I remember Mr. Oguna was saying before that in his invoice, he now puts there that they should make 80% payment upfront. That's absolutely fantastic. I'm all for that. I think what you also do is that upon delivery, they pay the 20%. I recently interacted with a company when I was doing some furniture work in my home. And the person, he haunted me. Before he delivered the last part of his work, he made sure that I paid his balance. And because he had done an excellent work for me, it was very easy for me to pay him. So as much as you are asking people to pay you a huge upfront amount and then complete your balance upon delivery. So it means once it's ready, you're taking a picture or doing a video and sending it to the client that, you know what, your item is ready for delivery. Kindly pay up your balance so that I can get my money, right? Also ensure that you give excellent service. And that takes me to my next point. In getting finance fund, you need to ensure. You may be wondering, how does this have anything to do with getting funding? Sometimes we go as far in accessing credit on our side. Sometimes we go as far as asking for market opinions. So we could come to your area where you stay and just ask questions around. This person does business here. Do you know them? It's what we call something like a feasibility study. Do you know them? How do they operate? Right? And they say the world is a very small place. It's a very small village. So it's very key. Give excellent service. What excellent service does is that you also ensure that your money comes back. Don't forget that wherever you're going to go and get funds, whether from family member or from a bank, the person expects you to do the business, make a profit, and return the money they brought to you back. If you have not rendered excellent service, how do you get the money back? How do you even now get more referrals from the person? Because the word of mouth is the biggest marketing ever, right? You imagine that today, now, if I ask you what's the best bank to use, everybody will shout, oh, pay, money point, pay. How many adverts, if you really want to look at it, do those guys do anymore currently? Word of mouth advert is what is going for them. And that's because why? They make sure that what they do primarily, it works. It's excellent. You can sleep on it that if I send money to an OPay account, before your own bank app has finished rolling, the OPay person has gotten a alert that the money has entered. I mean, it just beats the mind. So you want to ensure excellent service, you want to ensure excellent product delivery. Even when you are delivering you're into your logistics business, I've encountered some really nasty delivery guys, and I've encountered some really pleasant delivery guys that I had to tip. Yes, now I'm like, you know what? This is amazing for someone to go over and beyond. And even when things happen that are outside of the control, go over and beyond to deliver. And I make bold to say that I would always look out for those people. I would always say, okay, you know what? I've paid for this service, but you've done something that has wowed me. Okay, two things on top. So that's what delivery excellent service does, right? It opens more doors for you, both financially and so everything boils down to financially, really, because you bring more customers to your side, and when more customers, of course, equals to more money in the bank. Right. So we've talked about budgeting, we've talked about structure, we've talked about legality of the business. Now, we're also going to talk about you, the owner of the business at this point. So I want to ask Mr. Azuka and Mr. Ogunowo, do you collect salaries?
Because we don't have proper financial statement, and you know, like every entrepreneur, you must be able to run your business from 1 to 4 years before you can say you can pay yourself a salary. So I think now I'm more of the consistency aspect of it. Then I believe
Okay.
the next year we can start paying ourselves salary. And I want to ask a question. Hello.
Okay, go ahead.
My question is about your fintech, our cash.
Yes.
I have an account with our cash because the last event that was held in the school, well, I'm an Igbobian, so okay. I think I was opportune to win 5,000 naira that day because I downloaded the app and
amazing.
and I've been using it, but I've not for a while. I've just dropped it because I don't know. But I want to find out if we can open a company account with our cash.
Definitely you can.
Okay, so if we can, I wouldn't mind. I want to know the modalities and the requirements.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
maybe
We can
can I
offline.
go through my
We'll reach
app
out
to
to you
do it,
after.
or can I do the?
No, you can't.
Okay.
No, you can't open
Hello.
through your app, but we can take it offline. After the class, I'll make my contact and my head of marketing contacts available. So you're able to reach out to us and then we can take the conversation from there.
Thank you very much, ma.
All right, awesome. So, Mr. Gunawa, I asked, are you
Hello.
paying yourself salary?
No, actually, my work based on what I do per day. If I work per day, there is a specific amount that I'm supposed to get from the company. So I have company account already with UBA. It's a corporate account. So
Okay.
that's the way I operate it. If there is no
Okay.
work on ground, I won't pay myself. But if I went to site in a day, I have to pay myself per day. It's 15K I pay
Okay.
myself. That's it. And
Okay.
that's what we pay some people that we hire if we have a lot of work.
Yes. All right. Awesome. All right. So there is someone here, Fidel Technologies. Apology. I think you joined midway to the class. Do you want to say anything? Maybe introduce your business before we continue. What kind of business that you do, or if you're a career person, so that we can also carry you along. If you are speaking, you are muted. All right, so we'll just go ahead. We just wanted to ensure that we're carrying you along. Right. So the reason why I asked that question is because to pay some salaries. And it doesn't help your books. So I hear you that you're okay, the business is not structured, it's not standing up. But what happens to all the money that the business makes? It's inside your account. So you actually end up spending it. Right? So because you got yeah. So the reason why it's important so even if it is 10,000 naira or 20,000 naira, you're in a corporate account and then you describe it properly. Being salaries, you pay it. If you have workers, even if it is 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira that the business can pay, you pay it. The business should also have savings. Even if it is 1,000 naira the business can save, you must. So that's why structure, all those things are inside business structure. That's why structure is important in the business, right? No matter the level that the business is, you must be able to. Otherwise, you will spend business money when something comes up, emergency, and a contract just comes in, you just take the money and you just spend it. Meanwhile, there might not be a gap, right? So it's very, very key. We understand that whatever the business can pay you, it might not even be enough to buy a recharge card. But it's important that you put those structures in place now so that when as the money is increasing, you already know. So when you're able to save money for the business, it's also key. A lot of eventualities can happen. Who knew that COVID-19 will happen? And that swept away a lot of businesses because you are not even able to keep money to keep the business afloat during those years where everyone was locked up at home, right? So it's very key structure. As the owner of the business, even if the salary that they pay to you, you are going to end up plowing it back into the business. Please do well to ensure that that narration is there. That you took a salary and that you are giving the salary and putting it back into the business is a loan from you back to the business. Except if you now decide, okay, you want to add it to the value of your business, to increase the value of your business. So it's very key. This session today is really not about structure. I hope one of the facilitators that you have will be able to come around and give you more information on structure in business. But it's very key. So as financial people, these are the things that we are looking at, right? When you bring your financials to us or when you come to us to request for credit, these are the things that we're looking out for in the business. We want to be sure that there's a structure. We want to be sure that, okay, when we give this money, this person is not using the company name to collect loan to go and pay his own personal house rents. Those are the things that we're looking at. Those are the things. So when you tell us that, okay, you want to use it for example, for your working capital, what are the things that consume working capital? Those are your everyday businesses that at the end of the month will turn out a profit. So for example, your working capital can be your staff salaries. You know that, okay, 30 working days is 1st to 30th, but my own payment is not 1st to 30th. My own payment is 10th to 10th. So when I do business for this company, on the 10th is when they pay me back my money. But I need to pay my workers' salaries by 30th. That's if you have a structure or a policy as such in your company. So you want to come and take a working capital loan and need to pay, or you need to service your bike, or you need to buy little things for the furniture business, and you know that okay, some contract is there's a contract you're working on, and I'm going to get funds out of it. So you want to come and collect out, okay, I need 500 here or 1 million here to just complete this package, submit this job. Once I submit it, I get my money back. Please, when those, and another thing to also add here, as the ideas are coming, I'll just be dropping it. Anytime you want to access a facility that has interest element on it, please do well to always take note of the interest element. You now go and do so in economics, we call it economics of production. Economics of production means you want to put the amount that the person is going to pay you on this job, and then calculate all your costs, all the direct costs involved in it. Direct costs also involves, if you're going to take a loan, the loan principal and the loan interest, you must accommodate for it. So I'll give an example. They're giving you a job of, say they're going to pay you 1 million naira. You have deliveries to do, what, 1 million naira, or you have furniture to do, what, 1 million naira. They have given you the contract, you have signed the LPOs, you have agreed on terms, everything. Now, let's assume that what is going to take you to do that, consummate that job, is 800,000, just assuming, right? So you now go to a bank or someone and say, okay, I need 800,000 naira to return it in 30 days. And then they'll tell you that, okay, the interest that we will charge you on this 800,000 is, let's give a worst case scenario, is 5% monthly. So if you divide 5 divided by 100 times 800,000, right? That gives you 40,000. So it means that at the end of when you're returning that money, you're going to return 840,000 out of your 1 million naira, right? So that means you are now left with an income of 160,000, right? At the end of the period. Now, let's assume, right, that you felt, okay, I need 800,000 to do this job, and then you went and you bought 800,000. As you're doing it, materials has gone up. Everything has, you remember you're returning 40,000, 840. Material cost of materials has gone up. So what you felt you will get 800,000, you can't get it. So you now need to go and borrow an additional 200,000 naira, right? At the same 5% interest rate. You are calculating your head that, okay, I'll return 800 and I'll return 200. I'm okay. At least I'm doing the job. The business is expanding. You're forgetting that on that 1 million naira you're going to return 60,000. That's why a budget and economies of production is very key. You need to sit down and calculate. The interest element is also part of your expenses. You have to sit down and calculate, be very sure, be double sure, right? And so you also have to ensure that when you finish executing the business, no matter how small, there's something left. When you're starting a business, most times you take any and every job just because you want to keep body and soul together. But you must also ensure that no matter how slim the margin is, even if it is 5,000, that you can walk away with from the business. Or if it is that at worst case, you are not, it's break even. Break even means I didn't make any money, but at the same time, I'm not at a loss. My personal money that I put in, I was able to get it back. Well, at least these people know me now. So for subsequent jobs, they'll be able to trust me that I can deliver. They can give me bigger jobs. I can bid for higher amounts, right? So very, very key. And then very, very important that you want to put all those structures in place. So I'll go over what I've said again. I've talked about budgeting. I've talked about structure. I've talked about legality in business. I've talked about excellent customer service. And the bonus I also just gave now is about finance, assessing finance. So those are all the cheap things that you can just put together to ensure that you're able to, as an SME, assess finance for your business. There are a lot of government interventions that are currently going on now that to help grow SME business. So you sometimes people say, oh, it's people that they like that they are giving. No, it's people that have structure in their business that they are giving. So you want to be really deliberate about putting all those things in place. Even if it's only one customer you're servicing now, just be deliberate about keeping records. That's another thing, keeping good records. You want to be deliberate about putting those things in place, keeping that you need facility, all documentation is in place, you're able to receive it. And above all else, character is key. For us at the bank, well, another thing that we assess about character, and that's why we go, and that's why brings us around to customer service. That's why we go on visibility study. Collateral is usually not the primary focus for us, because as a bank, we are not into the business of selling cars, neither are we into the business of selling houses. What we are into is trading money. We collect money from someone that probably that wants a return on it, and give it to somebody else that has a business to do, right? At the end of the day, we also make a spread. So we return the money when this person pays back his facility. We're able to return the money to who gave us with his expected interest, and then the spread on it is what we use to pay salaries of those that work with us. So you find out that everybody's in business. Is that you're doing a product business or a services business at the end of the day, right? So for us, character is always key. What's the person's character? What's the person's attitude towards repayment? Things happen that may not be in your control. That one is guaranteed. But what is your attitude? Do you now stop picking your calls, or do you now start cursing when they are calling you? Or are you willing to come back to them and say, you know what, this has happened in my business. I didn't envisage for it. I didn't plan for it. Can we sit down? Can we talk? Can we plan another way for me to be able to pay this money? I have other businesses I'm working with. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So that's very key. Or when the money comes, so like some customers, they say, that money they paid me, but as they paid me, another business opportunity came. I said, let me quickly use it for that opportunity that they will pay me. I know what usually happens. It always boomerangs, because you came to collect a facility with a time frame for a particular business. They paid you probably a week or two earlier than you expected, or earlier than you gave. Have that money and say, you know what, bank, I've paid you on time. Close this my facility that I have with you. Can you now refinance me? I've seen another opportunity I can take and I can make money on it. So that gives the bank confidence. But people say, no, there's just opportunity. Let me just quickly run one or two, get the money, and then I'll pay the bank. And of course, they overshoot timelines, because you also should realize that the bank was a business. They're also planning. They've also calculated that, okay, this month I've given 1 million naira out, and this 1 million naira will be paid, or 10 million naira out. Out of this 10 million, next month I'm expecting 2 million to come back out of it. So somebody else has come in November for 2 million naira. We're able to match the fund and say, okay, 2 million naira is coming. This one else wants a loan of 2 million. Okay, you 2 million take. It means from December, 2 million, you start paying back your own money, maybe 500 every month. That's the point of view from the bank side. So anytime someone defaults in repayment of his or her loan, or in agreement, you will also disturb other people that are trying to access those facilities. I want to stop here to accommodate any other questions that we may have. Like I said, it's a very broad topic. What I've tried to do is to tailor it specifically to our businesses, for us to know where we are, and also to just have an idea of opportunities that we can harness to grow our business. So I'll open the floor. I don't know if there are any comments, questions, contributions before we close the session. Right, so I wouldn't want to take too much of our time on this wonderful Friday evening. So I don't know if there are any comments or questions around what we've talked about, or any specific finance issues that are going through your own business that you want to ask questions on. I'm happy to take those questions. All right. So over to you, Clayton. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Ma. Your session. Maybe I was shall not go and open a business. It was very insightful, and I hope those present part of the program have been able to pick one or two things to put in practice for their business. So I think, Azuka, do you have a question?
Yeah, my question is just boils down to the structure. I've been learning a lot about this structure, but like an entrepreneur that does not have enough on his desk, like to pay, can you like outsource, as in, can you have that, like outsource the finance department and maybe also have like another department? Can you just outsource all those things? Because like we don't really have capacity to put people under one building and be paying them salary and all those things.
Yes, of course, absolutely, you can. So we found that most times outsourcing is cheaper, because you don't have to bother, and then you have access to a wider range of experience. So of course, if your business can afford it, you can outsource. You also realize that for some of this thing we're talking about structure, we're in technology age, so you also have to explore. There are some layman apps currently online, and you can just explore. That if you put your what your revenue and your expenses is from your business if you put it into it. So I'm talking about for the financial part of structure now. If you put those figures into it, it will be able to run you a profit and loss statement and a balance sheet. It will be able to run your numbers for you without you having to give yourself a headache over it. A free resource is also Excel.
Can you please share
Um,
some of those sites,
so
or have you just
live, what I'll do is that maybe I'll share it with the academy for them to share with you guys. I can't remember some of the names off head now, but there's QuickBooks. QuickBooks is an accounting software. I know that they have a free package for either 3 or 6 months before you now have to start paying on their platform. There's also another one called Live something. I will confirm what that name is and send to the academy so that you can also look at it. That one helps you to, so when you put your business model, your revenue model, and expense model to it, it runs a full budget for you. Can run a full budget for you, right? You just put your expectations, what you expect to earn, say at the end of the year, and then now telling you how much revenue you want to make. So your revenue will now tell you how many deliveries or how much furniture you're expected to do and what spreads you should put on it to make. So you have this kind of softwares. But I mean, outsourcing is absolutely a fantastic idea. So I saw some of the things that you cannot do or that you feel may be so expensive for you to do. So at our end, we outsource some of our services that we know that, okay, we don't have capacity to staff or to keep staff together for, we outsource those kind of services. Yeah. So that works.
Okay, thank you, ma. So I'll be waiting to get the
Yes, we'll
this one.
pass that information across. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma, for your time.
All right. So any other questions or
Right,
contributions?
thank I don't think there's any other questions. But should there be, would send, because some people are not present in the session and they may listen to the YouTube later on. But thank
All right.
you very much, Ma. It was your busy schedule. I know we've all learned a lot today. Thank you. So I think that will be the end of all the sessions for today. The program would continue tomorrow